FPL managers, today we are looking at my game week 14 selection and my bench boost has been activated. We are using the first chip of the season. Make sure you like and subscribe and let's get right into it. Quick recap of the game week 3 results, guys. We are now in the top 400k. We were just outside the top 1 million before the game week started, but we did pretty well. When I say we did well, we actually, technically speaking, did all right. It's just every threat to my rank blanked, which paved the way for me to just get a few returns and get a decent green arrow. Haaland over Salah proving right once again, and players like Bruno and Dye, fairly low ownership at my rank, and they both got returns, which was really helpful. Also, Porro finding defcons after the full-time whistle was pretty funny. He had 8 defcons after the full-time whistle was blown, and Optastat somehow found 2 more defensive contributions in that game, so they gave him 10, and that was an extra 2-pointer, turning a blank into a return. Also, thank God I chose João Pedro in my game week 1 team, because if I didn't, I would be screwed. Into the game week 4 team now anyway, guys. In goal we have Sanchez, who I like. He's doing all right, he's making saves and he's keeping clean sheets. There's not much else to say about him really. And on the bench, we have Dubravka at home to Liverpool. I'm hoping Dubravka can pick up some save points, because the Lord knows he is not keeping a clean sheet against Liverpool. Really just hoping for a 2 or 3 pointer from him and hopefully a clean sheet from Sanchez. The bench I'm playing, by the way, is the weakest 4 players in my 15-man squad, so I'm hoping those guys can actually accumulate at least around 13, maybe 15 points to be considered a successful bench boost. Starting off the defence in the starting 11 is Gabriel, home to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest attack is not that good and the Arsenal defence is the best in the league. It has been for a little while and I assume it will continue to be that way. He was pretty unlucky not to get a clean sheet against Liverpool. I mean, they had a very low number of expected goals conceded, but that wonder free kick managed to sneak in the back of the net. If that didn't happen, Arsenal would have 3 clean sheets in 3 games. We then have Pedro Porro away to West Ham. I'm not expecting loads from him, but there's potential for a goal involvement and potential for a clean sheet in that game because West Ham aren't on the best form. Despite playing really well against Nottingham Forest, one good game doesn't necessarily mean a team has completely changed its form around. Then again, it could mean West Ham are really good and Porro is going to get absolutely no points. Next to him, we have Reinildo, who I don't have a lot of hope for. Playing away to Crystal Palace, they're not going to keep a clean sheet, but Reinildo does really well for defensive contributions, and if Sunderland are on the back foot, I wouldn't be surprised if Reinildo picked up a 3 or 4 pointer for minutes plus defensive contributions. On the bench, I don't expect a lot from Konza, hopefully 2 points for minutes or hopefully keeping a clean sheet. Everton have been alright going forward. In fact, they've been very good going forward, so an Aston Villa clean sheet may not happen, but it could, so we'll see how it goes. Hoping for just a 2-pointer from Konza here. With Nico Williams, he actually does pretty well for defensive contributions as well. While I don't expect a clean sheet from him, it is possible because Arsenal are a very defensive team and so are Nottingham Forest, so we could be looking at a low scoring game here. If he doesn't get a clean sheet, I'm hoping for some defensive contributions. Looking at my bench here so far, it looks very weak, and that is true. But the only other time I consider using a bench boost is after a wild card. And in the future, when I do wild card, I don't want to base my whole team around a bench boost. And I've seen an opportunity this game week, which I think is quite good, and I'm using it. So across these 3 defenders on my bench, I'm hoping for around 6 or 7 points, really. That's what I expect, and I think that's a realistic scenario. If we get more, then I'll be very happy. In the midfield 5, guys, we will start with my bench. This guy is the main reason I'm bench boosting. He did score last game week, and it should not have been disallowed by VAR. Fulham against Chelsea. I'm sure you guys heard about this incident last game week, but VAR admitted they wrongfully disallowed Joshua King's goal against Chelsea. So he's technically on good form, and I've watched him play against Man United. He did very well. He found himself through on goal, but Lenny Yoro made an amazing last-ditch tackle. So Joshua King is going to be in the big chances against Leeds, and Fulham should be scoring a few goals. Hopefully he's involved in some way, shape or form. He is the main reason I'm bench boosting, so hopefully he does well for me. If he doesn't and he blanks, then fair enough, I made the wrong choice, but I don't think I'm going to have a better 5th attacker on my bench for a long while. In the starting 11, we have Bruno Fernandes, who is away to Man City, which is a very tough fixture, but with Bruno being on a lot of set pieces, having loads of potential for defensive contributions, and Man City being on bad form, I simply could not leave him out of this team. I could have put him on the bench and, you know, just played Joshua King and not use my bench boost, but I think Bruno has a lot of potential for points this game week, so I'm very happy with him in my team. Despite on paper it being quite a tough fixture, I think he'll do quite well. Then we have Ndai, who has been doing my team very nicely recently. He has scored 2 goals from 3 shots, which is a bit of a worry. Playing home to Aston Villa isn't necessarily the best fixture, but it's also not the worst fixture. Definitely not a fixture I want to bench any attacker for. We are staying patient with Wirtz. With 2 good fixtures on the horizon, I simply cannot bring myself to sell him. His underlying data isn't great, but then again, there's not a single Liverpool asset with good underlying data aside from Ekitike, not even Mohamed Salah. So Wirtz, hopefully he can prove us why he costs so much money, and hopefully he proves to us that he is a good FPL asset, someone that you should be owning. If he blanks in the next 2 game weeks, it's wraps for Wirtz. It's over. He is leaving my team 100%, but I'm still keeping the faith in him. Gakpo, Isak, Ekitike, all minutes risks in my opinion, you know, so I'm not really too fussed about any of those players doing well against Burnley to begin with. When Liverpool's formation does take shape and we see the regular starters, I may move to Isak or Ekitike or Gakpo, depending on who's doing well. But for now, we'll have to stick with our boy Wirtz, and hopefully he performs for us and bags us some points. Finally, we have Semenyo, who I have owned since game week 1. I am very proud to have owned this man since game week 1. He has done wonders for my team. His underlying data is amazing. His expected goals is second in the league behind only Erling Haaland. And playing home to Brighton ain't a bad fixture. Brighton, they're doing all right, but they're not on the best form. They've not been too good at defending inside their box, and Semenyo has plenty of shots inside the box, so hopefully he can take advantage of this. He has only scored 2 goals this season. I say only, 2 is pretty good, and they both came in game week 1, but he has had plenty big chances and scoring opportunities in game week 2 and 3. They just haven't really materialised because his finishing wasn't super on point. But I'm going to keep the faith in Semenyo. You know, he's a good footballer. We know he can finish those chances most occasions. So hopefully he starts performing well. Finishing us off with the front 3, we got Erling Haaland as our captain playing home to Man United. The Man United defence has not been too great, guys. I mean, they have a new goalkeeper now, so Haaland probably doesn't have as much chance of scoring as he did before they signed a new goalkeeper, but I still fancy him because United, while they've been going forward pretty well, they've not been defending that well, and Haaland has been picking up so many expected goals. If he can actually just finish his chances, he will be getting so many points. He's had 6 big chances and scored 3. A striker of his caliber, you would expect to score nearly every big chance, but clearly he's not had his shooting boots on, so I've had to wait patiently for the big returns to come in. And even though I support Man United, I'm half hoping, you know, Haaland bags a few goals. Maybe, just maybe, a 4-3 win to Man United with 4 goals from Bruno and 3 goals from Haaland. That would be an ideal scenario. And the chances of that happening is probably about 50-50. I mean, what do you guys think? Next to him, Ollie Watkins is in the team. We're staying patient with Watkins as well as Wirtz. Guys, Watkins is an amazing FPL asset. He is Premier League proven. He has a great fixture run. All we need is for Aston Villa to find their form, and that usually happens when a team is on a good fixture run. You know, they find their form, the players start playing well. All they really need is one good game to turn things around. And the Everton defence hasn't exactly been solid this season. They conceded to Leeds, they conceded a couple against the Wolves, so they can be exposed and teams can take advantage of their weak defence with some players being injured. Hopefully Aston Villa do make the most of this and Ollie Watkins can finally find his form, but only time will tell, so we will see. Then of course the highest owned player in the game is João Pedro. Eternally grateful I chose João Pedro in game week 1. I could not be more thankful. He has done wonders for me. I mean, he's not done wonders for me because he doesn't shoot my rank that much higher considering so many people own him. He basically just stops me from getting shot down in the ranks. Last season at my rank, his effective ownership was 100%. If you guys don't know what that means, it basically means he would only positively affect my rank if he was my captain. Pretty much everyone in the top 1 million owns João Pedro. And that's not because João Pedro is the best player to pick in FPL. It's just that if you didn't pick João Pedro, you are just coincidentally behind everyone else because João Pedro has got so many damn points. Playing away to Brentford is an okay fixture. It's not amazing, and João Pedro's upcoming fixtures aren't great either. But with his ownership being super high, he is a super safe player to own, and his minutes have been very reliable recently. And I expect that to continue because Delap is injured, so he should be starting at striker. And even when he doesn't, he can play left wing, right wing, or a number 10. There you guys have it. That is my final team with my bench boost active. I was strongly debating bench boost for a while as to whether I should actually activate it or not. I basically came to the conclusion that if Joshua King gets a goal involvement, it is going to be worth it. If he gets an assist, the bench boost probably gets me at least 13 points, which is what I want to be able to call it a success. If it's any lower, then I may have wasted the chip. Let me know what you guys would do with this bench. Would you bench Bruno, bench King? Would you ignore bench boost and save it for another game week? Or would you be like me and play your bench boost? Please let me know down in the comments. If you did make it this far, you are greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys all in the next video.